Hi, Sean from All Suburbs Building Inspections. I wanted to have a chat to you today about major versus minor defects in a building inspection report. If you've had a building and pest inspection done or even a handover inspection done, usually the defects are categorized into either major or minor defects. Now, the Australian standard for a major defect is a defect of sufficient magnitude that it poses a safety hazard, impacts the utility of the building, or would lead to deterioration of the building if not rectified. That means that, or rather, an example of some major defects would be cracking to the foundations or footings of the building, significant cracking to load-bearing walls, subsidence that was either impacting or could impact the footings or foundation of the building, water ingress or a breakdown of the waterproofing membrane. These sorts of things are items that require attention immediately to rectify them so that the issue doesn't become worse or so that it doesn't become a safety hazard for the occupants or visitors to the property. The Australian standard defines a minor defect as any other defect that's not a major defect or a safety hazard. So your list of minor defects is usually going to be much longer than your list of major defects. Minor defects are things like minor cracking to concrete, paint peeling, minor wet rot, and things that are maintenance items that can readily be repaired but don't necessarily have to be repaired in order to prevent a larger issue from occurring. So when you're getting a building inspection done and your inspector categorizes the defects into major and minor, the major defects and safety hazards are the things you really need to pay attention to. These are usually the items that are going to either impact your decision around buying or settling on a property, or perhaps renegotiating to change the contract price or negotiate it so that the seller has to rectify those issues, because those issues will become worse over time in a way that significantly impacts the property. So I hope that gives you a little bit of clarity around the differences between major and minor defects. As a side note, any safety hazard that's identified immediately is considered a major defect. Even if the safety hazard is relatively minor, if it is a safety hazard, it is automatically classified as a major defect because all safety hazards need to be addressed immediately. So that's just a side note, but I hope that helps, and thank you.